I'm Riley Egger, and today joining me is Nebraska Wesleyan men's coach Cam Schutnick to preview the upcoming season. Thanks for joining me, Coach. We'll open up by kind of talk about your preseason practices so far. How have they been going for you guys?
They've been going good. Looking at some of those things, we have about 4 to 5 weeks as far as kind of getting some things in and kind of looking at those dimensions. I think that always allows us to put our base in as far as an offensive perspective and as far as a defensive perspective. And we've had a couple scrimmages in there, and now I guess we'll kind of see where we're at heading into Friday, Saturday as we head to Chicago.
You went ahead and you mentioned about some scrimmages. What you learned about your team through those scrimmages? Well,
our scrimmages are really important, and they're really good for us as well too. From that standpoint, we kind of learned as far as some of the things that maybe some things that we're doing well, some things that we need to improve upon. Example, kind of going into our scrimmage the other night, we did a great job taking care of the basketball. I thought we really kind of put pressure on the defense from an offensive perspective. One of the things that we probably came out of there talking about was a little more of a defensive angle and how we need to improve kind of going into this weekend, because we're going to see some teams, probably similar format, and some teams that maybe set a lot of ball screens, teams that really push the ball off the floor, and we need to really kind of improve in some of those areas heading into this weekend.
Alrighty. Kind of looking at the team this year, you have 3 returning starters and 8 returning letter winners. Tell us some of your top returning players and what we'll see on the court from them.
Yeah, we have a kind of an interesting mix from a team standpoint. Last year we had 5 seniors. This year a little different. We have 1 senior. However, we do have 5 juniors that do obviously have a great deal of experience within our program. So kind of a little different dimension. Obviously, every year is a little bit different. No question about that. But then we have a couple sophomores in our mix as well too, playing for us as far as Byron Thompson, the point guard position, and Andrew Mettis at an off guard position, and then possibly a couple freshmen in the mix there as well too. So it's a lot of different dimensions than what we had last year. But again, kind of maybe going back to your first question a little bit is, within 5 weeks we really kind of develop a little bit of a team chemistry, and it's something that we want to continue to develop and really kind of build off of going throughout the remainder of our season.
We talked about just having that 1 senior, but how do you think the adjustment has been for the team and the coaching staff with a new group of leaders?
Well, that's always a work in progress. That's probably a good way to say it. I believe we have some guys very capable of that leadership on our team, and it's just a little different perspective where maybe we don't have so many leaders. So I think those are kind of some of the dimensions that maybe we're trying to figure out yet as a team as to who kind of supports in some of those roles and how those pieces fit together. And I believe those are just things that both on and off the court we've got to continue to figure out. It's very much a process and very much something that we're still working on. And like I said, I believe we have a good base, but some of those things will really kind of be determined as we go.
And you talked about hitting on some new face coming in, the freshmen and sophomores. Who are some of those younger players we can see stepping up this year for the Prairie Wolves?
Well, you probably start from a sophomore standpoint. Probably start with Byron Thompson, a guy that played extensively at the point guard position, and I guess I say extensively, but from a backup position last year, backing up Nick Dinan. He got a great deal of experience at that point guard position. I think kind of moving on, a guy like Andrew Mettis, who played quite a bit of JV last year. From the same standpoint, academically he is a junior as far as his eligibility. But was injured 1 year, sat out 1 year, so it has sophomore athletic eligibility wise, and those would be a couple of sophomores in the mix right now, and then a couple of freshmen. Trey Bardsley from Beatrice and Travis Gieselman from Elkhorn have also had a good start to practice as well.
Switching in from the preseason into the season, you guys head out to Chicago this weekend for 2 games in the River Forest Classic. Who are your opponents, and what do you know about the upcoming games?
Well, we play Concordia, Chicago. We also play Dominican within that second game, and some of that is maybe as we're kind of trying to figure things out as well. Sometimes as you open the season, you might not know everything about the prospective opponent as far as guys that they've graduated, who are their newcomers, how some of those guys slide through. we're kind of looking at some of the tendencies maybe of what they've done in the past. I think you're looking at a couple of different teams, like I mentioned earlier, a couple of teams that maybe try to put a lot of pressure on you defensively from a transition standpoint. I believe Dominican probably set a lot of ball screens. Concordia, Chicago, maybe a little zone throughout there as well. So those are things that all those things we need to be ready for, and in a situation, I guess going back to our scrimmages, that's something that we hopefully have had a chance to go through and are ready for action this weekend.
In talking about the season and coming up Tuesday with the home opener and GPAC opener against Concordia, can you give us a quick look at that game and obviously the GPAC conference in general?
Well, the GPAC, probably the best way to say it. I mean, it's never a night off. It's very competitive. It's very physical. I believe in all those things. It's really important. Probably a couple of things that mentally you're always ready to go, no matter the night, no matter the day, as you're going through that. And some of the things that we really talk about quite a bit is how do you improve through all those phases of the season, because it's probably more so about improvement, and it's a tough league. It's a good league, and I believe if you can kind of keep that focus on yourself and make those strides and make those improvements throughout the season, things will kind of take care of themselves from that same perspective.
And finally, Coach, what are you looking for your team that this opening week competition? What would be getting the keys to victory for you to start it off?
Well, I guess that maybe goes a little bit kind of game by game. We feel like we have some very good pieces within our program. Then it's just kind of putting all those pieces together, and being able to do that. There's a lot of things that influence that, whether it's team chemistry, as far as our attitude and how we approach each day. I believe those are probably some of our expectations as to maybe what I said earlier. How do we improve? How do we reach our potential as a team? Maybe not so much about what other people are doing, but how can we do those things? And again, it's really very process oriented as to how we look at that. And that was I believe something that's allowed us to improve in the past, and something we're looking at again this year, that we feel like if we could blend some of those things as far as our experience and continue that progress in that direction, we feel like we could be a good team and be a team that competes at a high level within our conference as well.
Well, Coach, thank you for joining us, and definitely look forward to a fun, exciting season this year. Best of luck.
Yeah, thanks for having me.